What if John Wick was Ghost Rider Chapter 2, narrated by Lucimus Prime? John Wick / Ghost Rider recovers his stolen Ford Mustang from Abram Tarasov, brother of the late Viggo Tarasov. John dispatches Tarasov's men in a violent rampage that heavily damages the garage in fire. He then confronts Tarasov, who attempts to have a last stand using a holy water hose, but John breaks the hose using his chain and grabs Abram. He tells Abram that when he's done with him, he will retire. Tarasov, like the movie, tells John to enjoy his retirement before John gives him a penance stare, killing him. And he returns home to fulfill his retirement. At his house, John is visited by the Camorra crime boss, Santino D'Antonio, who reminds him that he was the one who helped John complete his impossible task, which allowed John to retire and marry his wife Helen. In return, John swore to a marker, an unbreakable vow symbolised by a blood oath medallion. Santino presents the marker to demand services from John, but John declines because he has a new life as the Rider working for Mephisto. Santino retaliates by destroying John's house with a grenade launcher. John survives alongside his dog and is visited by Mephisto again. He asks Mephisto if Santino must be damned to hell for his sins, considering he was a former friend. Mephisto then says that if he believes sins can be atoned, he must do what Santino has asked, but if Santino betrays him, it will be proved that he must be damned, and John travels to a Continental hotel in New York City, where Winston reminds John that if he rejects the marker, he'll be violating one of the two unbreakable rules of the underworld: no killing on Continental grounds, and honouring every marker, despite John being in a new life as the Rider. John reluctantly accepts his commitment and meets with Santino, who tasks him with assassinating his sister Gianna so he can claim her seat at the High Table, a council of 12 high-level crime bosses. In Rome, Italy, John infiltrates Gianna's coronation and confronts her in a dressing room. Faced with certain death, she allows John to turn her to ashes to fulfill the marker. As John leaves, carrying her ashes in an urn as proof that he killed her, Gianna's bodyguard Cassian recognises John, and upon realising that he was sent to kill Gianna, attacks him, but John is able to outrun him using his Rider abilities. John flees to the catacombs, where he's double-crossed by Ares and Santino's henchmen, who intend to tie up loose ends by killing him, armed with holy water weapons, and he gives them to Cassian. After killing most of the henchmen, John is again pursued by Cassian. Their fight leads them into the reception area of the Rome Continental Hotel, which, like the New York one, prohibits conducting any business on company grounds. As John and Cassian share a drink in the hotel's bar, John explains his reason for killing Gianna. Nevertheless, Cassian promises to kill John quickly as a sign of professional respect. However, unlike the movie, as Cassian leaves the Rome Continental, John transforms into a Rider and slices Cassian in half with his chain and turns him into ashes. As John returns to New York City, Santino opens a contract of $7 million to kill John under the guise of avenging Gianna, leading numerous assassins to unsuccessfully attack John using holy water, and he narrowly escapes after being shot several times with bullets while vulnerable. The badly injured John seeks help from an underground crime boss known as the Bowery King, whose subordinates treat John's injuries. Intrigued by John's intent to kill a member of the High Table, the Bowery King sportingly gives him a gun, which John shoots with his shotgun, and it transforms into a powerful flamethrower. John then travels to an art museum where Santino is holding a gala. John pursues him through the museum, and he kills his remaining henchmen and Ares using his chain and his flamethrower. But Santino manages to escape to a Continental, where he intends to remain indefinitely in its sanctuary. Despite Winston's warnings that John will be violating the rule, the exasperated John is encouraged to kill Santino by Mephisto appearing before him. and he decapitates Santino using his chain in the Continental Lounge.
What have you done? Finished it.
The next day, Winston meets with John and explains that per the High Table, the contract on John for killing Santino has been doubled and offered globally. As a consequence of killing Santino on the company grounds, Winston has to declare John excommunicado, terminating all his access and privileges to underworld resources. Winston then reveals to John that everyone in the park around him is a trained assassin. John transforms into a rider ready to fight, but Winston reveals that he is delaying announcing John's excommunicado by 1 hour to give him a head start, and provides him with a marker for future use. Before leaving, John turns back into human form and tells Winston to tell every other assassin through a high table that he will kill all of them if they try to hunt him. And Winston said, as of course he will, like in a movie, before John leaves. As John departs with his dog, Winston makes the call, enacting John's excommunicado to be activated in 1 hour. As the contract is activated and cellular phones begin to ring all around him, John runs to his hell cycle and his dog jumps on. He transforms into a rider and starts the engine, preparing to go on a run.